back, ladies and gentlemen, to another Renatus J.A.M. live from the Renatus studio. My name is Jay Stark, and joining me as always is my fearless co-host,
Mr. Matt Snyder.
Mr. Matt Snyder. So Matt, you've got a fancy little title.
I do.
Your title is fancy.
Yeah.
Explain to us what that title means. Aaron, can you bring up his lower third one more time? What does your fancy little VP corporate relations mean?
Well, it means I run the billing department. It means I run the compliance department.
So you're everybody's favorite.
Oh, people hate me. Whenever I'm talking, people are upset.
I seriously doubt that people hate you.
So yeah. And there's a lot. I interface with lawyers a lot. There's, if something escalates, as far as like customer satisfaction, somebody's upset, I usually deal with those phone calls if they get to a point where they.
So you deal with the unhappy, discontented, or being told that they have an opportunity for improvement, folks.
Yeah. Yep, I talk to the unhappy people, or I call people about compliance and make them unhappy, or they're billing.
I just had this vision in my mind. There's the old school thought. You just wait till your father gets home, then you're gonna be in so much trouble. And I just feel like Matt is kind of like that guy. You're you just wait till you talk to Matt.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. It can be that. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, you are one of the funnest people that I've ever been around. So,
I appreciate that. Thank you, Jay.
Yeah, man, you handle it well, and I have not had any complaints about people who interface with you, or from people who interface with you.
Now you're gonna get a bunch.
I doubt it, but I guess we'll see, right?
We will see.
Oh, man. Well, in true form, Mr. Snyder, what is new and exciting?
Well, man, we've got the Leaders Retreat coming up, and it's
yes, we do.
It's right on our heels, man. It's amazing how quickly this stuff comes. I can't believe that, it, for whatever reason, it feels like it's at the end of summer, which means that it feels like it's a long time out.
Right.
And, every time we get on the podcast, we start talking about it, and I go, crap, that's not that far away. What are we like? I should know, but what's today?
Like we're 2 months away.
Yeah,
we're 60 days away. Less than 60 days away.
I was thinking we were less than 60 days away.
Yeah.
So that's what I was thinking. Yeah. Sheesh.
Yeah, so check this out. Did you guys all catch the release on Monday? Aaron, go ahead and pop over to my screen here. Oh, that's funny. Hang on. Let me zip forward here through the slides just a little bit, because I'm reusing our Founders Live slides because Bob made a massive announcement on Monday that I want to make sure that everybody's aware of. 1 second here. All right. Whoa. There we go. All right. Go ahead, Aaron. So Bob announced a huge announcement. Huge. All Renatus and Saladio customers are invited to the Leaders Retreat.
Man, that's cool.
Everybody is welcome to come. We have had the last surplus of rooms become available to us, and we thought, you know what? We're not going to restrict this bad boy. We're going to give everybody an opportunity to join us. So here's what you can look forward to. On Friday, September 13th, we are arriving in Punta Cana, the Dominican Republic, at the Dreams Royal Beach. And we have a cocktail reception hour. I call it an hour. It's actually 2 hours. But it's from 7 to 9 p.m. Now, the request is that everybody wear white, because nothing says cocktail hour like white clothes. Now, I know I'm a little jaded because, you have kids long enough and everything gets stained. But wear white.
Yeah,
wear white.
It does.
On Saturday, the 14th, we have our mastermind training. This is our first international mastermind. It's going to be going from 9 a.m. to, it's listed till 2:30. I think that's just giving us a buffer. Usually we go, 1, maybe 2 o'clock, but that's going to be...
We usually go till 2. I feel like because what is it 4 or 5 hours that you have to do it for tax purposes?
It's 4,
so it's
according
4.
to the last thing that I heard.
I was going to say, I always feel like we go an hour past that, so whatever the mark was. Well, I remember looking it up.
Here's the thing. We just get to having so much fun, and we get so engaged.
Yeah,
it never feels like you've been sitting there for 4 hours.
It doesn't, and it's because, it's like you're in this tropical place. Everybody's relaxed.
Oh, yeah.
It's a different vibe.
You laugh. There's music. You have a good time.
It's a very different vibe. And so, it definitely doesn't feel like it's, and I love it because of that. So
the cool part about this one in particular that is so much different than all of the previous leaders retreats that we've done is that we are branding this as a mastermind, meaning that we're going to create an opportunity not just in the big group training, but also other places for people to get together, to share ideas, to talk about their successes, talk about what's working, where they could use some help, improvement, tips, tricks, opportunities. It is all going to be there at this Leaders Retreat. This truly is the first of its kind. We call it the Leaders Retreat just like we have in years past, but this is a totally unique opportunity to get engaged with the leadership inside of Renatus and Saladio from around the country and around the world. It's going to be super cool. But that training, it's currently listed from 9 a.m. to 2:30 on the 14th. That's Saturday morning. Now, on Sunday, it's marked as a free day. And then on Monday, the 16th, we, of course, have the big group activity, which is planned to go from 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Now, it was really funny because as Bob was explaining this to me, I thought, okay, that sounds great. But in the past, we have had these adrenaline-fueled, these crazy awesome opportunities that we go into for our group activity. Well, he said this one is that. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, pull it up. It said zip lines.
Zip lining, Monkey Land.
I was going to ask, what is Monkey Land?
So there are these, and I can't remember what kind of monkeys they are, but they are small. They're like 16 inches long type of monkeys, and they give you these cups of food. So here's what I can liken it to. We have an interactive aquarium here where they have a cage that is filled with parakeets.
Okay, yeah.
And you can walk in there with a cup of food and all these parakeets will land on you and you can just interact with them.
Yep.
They'll eat the food out of your hand. You can be in there for as long as you want. It's just fun. Well, the monkey excursion that they have here is the same thing. You walk in there with food and you're going to have monkeys that'll jump all over you. They're going to jump on top of you. They're going to jump from you to the next person. They're just going to have a good time with you. Cool. And it's just so cool to be able to interact with these monkeys in that way. And Bob was like, it doesn't sound that awesome on paper, but when you get there, the experience is next level. And I thought, okay, if Bob's saying that means something. So then also you're gonna have an opportunity to have lunch with the group, and there's one more thing that's part of this. I can't remember what it's called. It's like Rosa's house or something like that. Anyway, it's like a chocolate making manufacturing plant there that is part of the group activity that is gonna be. It's going to be awesome. So then we have our farewell dinner that day. Now, the one thing that I wanted to pull up or wanted to talk about that's not actually listed on the agenda yet is that on Saturday afternoon and evening and on Sunday, we're going to be creating opportunities for the group to congregate in specific areas of the resort. Mm-hmm. We're working with the resort right now to really nail that down, to see what other activities we could bring in. We've talked about potentially doing like a foam party for the group. We've talked about doing like you remember those, the guys that'll stand on the edge of the pool and you do like the musical aerobics and different things together. We thought that could be fun. We've talked about all sorts of different activities. I know that one of your favorites is doing the water volleyball. I know that you love getting in the pool with people and doing that.
I do love that.
Anyway, so we've been talking with the resort. We haven't nailed it all down quite yet, but what we're going to do, as in tandem with the rest of this agenda, is create the opportunity and experience for people to congregate during the entire event. So it truly will be a mastermind that goes the entirety of the event, all 4 days.
Yeah, that's cool. So is it a big resort? Do you know? I mean, I know you haven't
I know that there are, I believe there's 2 or 3 resorts that are all sister resorts on the same property that are all right next to each other.
Yeah.
And we're going to have access to all, maybe there's just 2. I think there might be just 2. I don't remember for sure.
Okay.
But it is not the biggest resort we've ever gone to, but Bob said it is one of the nicest. He says it's right up there.
Huh.
And so,
that's surprising given the price. But I mean, I've seen these pictures. It's amazing. Right? It looks incredible.
Yeah, the price is, I can't say unprecedented because, 10 years ago, this price would have been a good price.
Yeah.
Well, the mere fact that we are now 10 years later with the inflation and different things that have happened in our economy, and we're getting a similar price to what we would have shot for 10 years ago is phenomenal.
Yeah, it is.
And so, let me pull back here. I think it's like, for a single rate, here's the room types that you can look at. The deluxe tropical view, the rate per person is $130 a night. That's a night.
It's unbelievable.
And that's at an all-inclusive resort.
I know. That's
your
an all-inclusive
your
resort.
Drinks, the activities.
And that is like getting, I don't know that, actually, I know what the price just here in Farmington of the Holiday Inn or whatever that is that's right there on the...
Yep.
Where we book people.
Yeah, at Farmington Station.
It's way more than that.
It is. So, and it's not an all-inclusive.
And it is not. Nope.
So
it's impressive.
Here's a little bit more information for you. If you guys are a customer of Renatus or Saladio and you want to come to this international mastermind that we are currently calling the Leaders Retreat, go to the website that is currently on your screen, the www.renatus-leadersretreat.com. Aaron, go ahead and pull up my screen one more time. That way everybody can see it. That's where you want to go if you want to get your room booked. And then if you want to call Carol directly, you can get a hold of her at this number. Here is her email. I know that she's currently out of the country, but she is checking her email every evening. So she will make sure that she gets everybody taken care of that wants to be a part of the Leaders Retreat. And then one more time, if you want to be a part of the group activity, here's how you can get registered for that. Go to renatus.me/DR24, which is Dominican Republic 24, or you can just scan the QR code and it will take you to that link. That's how you can get registered for the group activity. So I cannot emphasize enough just the impact that this Leaders Retreat is going to have, because we are at a turning point. We have seen inflation rise. We have seen home prices go through the roof. We have seen the real estate market really taking left turns and right turns. And man, the opportunities are still rich and available in real estate in the United States. It is going to be an awesome opportunity as we're taking part in the Leaders Retreat to have people come together to really mastermind, to really take opportunity to brainstorm together, to plan together, to work together. It's going to be awesome.
Heck yes, it will.
Heck yes, it will.
Did somebody say that real estate doesn't have opportunities or something? Right
my personal feel is that there are people that are wary of the real estate market right now, which is really interesting to me. We've been saying forever, when's the best time to invest in real estate?
Well, 20 years ago.
20 years ago. Yeah. The second best time is?
Right now.
Today.
Yeah.
There is always an opportunity in a market that is moving up or down. There is always an opportunity.
Yeah, I don't think maybe the uneducated or uninitiated might not know that when real estate is coming down, that there's tons of opportunity. As a matter of fact, one might argue there's more opportunity when that's happening.
When real estate is going down, the deals become more plentiful, but less what's the word I'm looking for? Profitable.
Yeah. Okay.
But when the market's going up, the deals are less plentiful, but they're more profitable.
There you go.
So it's really an interesting balance. But yeah, my sense is that the public really is looking at real estate as a bigger risk than it's ever been before. Mm-hmm. But in reality, I want everybody on the line to consider this. Consider if you had bought 10 homes 5 years ago, what would they be worth today?
Yeah. How would you feel?
Right. It used to be, we would say, imagine buying a home the same time your parents did.
Yeah.
How much would that be worth? And now we're literally looking at markets in 5-year segments and saying, hey, 5 years ago, if you had bought 10 homes, what would they be worth today?
Well, people need a place to live.
Always.
That'll never change.
Yep.
So regardless of the market, and how many people are moving around and all that, people need a place to live.
They do.
And so if you scoop a deal up at the right price, and you can still flip it even in a down market, because somebody is always looking, especially here. Gosh. Yeah. Utah.
They are always looking for a place to live, and the market is in a state of appreciation right now that makes investing like really, really profitable.
Yeah.
But people are getting scared of it because they see that the values have gone up, and so they're less ready to just jump in both feet. But
well, if you bought a house 2 years ago,
yeah,
it probably would be worth less now than it was 2 years ago. So if you just bought it and you moved in, and you'd be like looking at your home's value and be like, oh crap, I lost money in real estate. But if you're an investor and you're going in and you're buying, you're buying at a discount even 2 years ago because you have a plan or whatever, that entirely changes the equation.
It's really interesting. Here's something I've learned throughout my investing career. When you own one home, or let's say you own one investment property. Let's say it's a rental. Short-term, long-term, doesn't matter. If that rental is unoccupied, you feel it. You feel every inch of it, right? If you own 100 homes and one home goes unoccupied, you don't feel it nearly as much.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Yeah. So get into real estate, and don't be scared of getting into a lot of real estate, because what that does is that helps to insulate and protect the rest of your business. Mm-hmm. It's really interesting. The more real estate I own, the less scary real estate is, and the more ready I am to pull the trigger on more real estate. Yeah.
I see it as the best investment. I mean, everybody's going to have their opinion. I've talked to stock traders that are like, no, stock's the best or whatever.
Yeah,
and it's like, hey,
crypto's one that's been hot in the last
great.
Decade.
If that's where you want to put your money, cool.
Yeah.
I don't agree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like having the ability to physically touch my asset.
Me
and
too.
Being able to literally force appreciation through sweat equity, through improvements to the property. I can't do that with stocks. I don't know how. Maybe it's possible. I just don't know how.
Right. Yeah. I think you have to really know the game.
Yeah.
To make money in the stock market.
It's funny. We have a guest that's on the line with us today that we haven't even brought out yet, and I wasn't planning on taking quite this long to talk about real estate. But I get so passionate about it. I get so excited. I love the example that Scott Rowe, he was the first one I ever heard give it. I don't know if he was the genesis of it or what, but he's the first person I heard share it. And he talks about going into a bank and asking a bank for a loan to invest in the stock market, to invest in gold or crypto or anything else. He said, you're going to get laughed out of the bank every single time.
Yep.
But if you walk into just about any bank in the United States with an address and say, hey, I'd like to take out a loan on this property, they're going to take it very seriously. They're going to try to work the numbers with you and try to make it happen.
Yep.
So invest like the banks do.
And the benefit there is you get to ride the upside on the entire amount, even though you're not risking the entire. So in other words, you buy a $500,000 home. If that home appreciates 10%, that $50,000 you keep. The bank doesn't keep that. You're paying interest, of course, but you get to ride the entire upside.
That's right. There is the opposite risk. You ride the entire downside.
You do.
But
you do.
I just love...
So buy right.
Yeah.
That's the, get educated, learn how to buy it right.
You make your money when you buy a property. You get paid when you sell it.
Yep.
It's really interesting. Just the thought of investing the way that banks do, being willing to not risk your money against things that the bank won't risk their money against, and being willing to invest your money the same way a bank would. I just love that thought. It just landed with me hard the first time I heard Scott share it.
Also, just disclaimer: if you're lending money on a property, do it the same way the banks do it. Secure it.
Yeah.
Secure it properly.
If
you don't know how to do that, get educated.
I love the Renatus education because of the entire what am I trying to say? The depth and breadth of the education, but it's that every single class is designed to give you all of the information. There's never a class that's designed to only give you part of it or to give you enough to get you interested and then try to upsell you into something else.
Right.
The classes, they contain the entirety of the strategy from A to Z, and then you can go back and rewatch that class over and over again because, sitting through one class one time is not going to teach you everything you know, but being able to go back and refer to it again and again and again, it's going to give you that confidence that, hey, I didn't maybe get it all the first time, but I can go back, I can watch it again, and then I can do it right.
Yep.
Yeah,
I went through velocity banking 4 times before I actually went out and did it because I couldn't wrap my head around. I was like, wait, how does this work? And, does it work for me? Because that's a question you got to ask as well. But after going through it 4 times, I felt like I really got a good grasp on this, and I've run my numbers. I understand what I'm doing, and then I could jump into it. But yeah, I love that you can do that. You can go through it multiple times.
Me too. Renatus rocks, man. It really does.
It really does.
Our education, I know that I'm very biased. I've been working with Bob Snyder for a long time.
I'm unbiased.
I'm very biased, and Renatus is hands down the best real estate education on the market.
I agree.
So with
my
that,
biased opinion,
in my very biased opinion, with that, I think now's a great time to bring out our featured guest for the call. Now, last week we tried and failed to get Bob Tierney on the line with us. We were having some technical issues on our end.
You know what Bob is doing? He's busy with real estate deals. And so, I think it's funny that we got talking about this because he's got 3 of them that he's working on right now.
Yeah. So Bob Tierney will not be with us today, but instead we have an opportunity to hear from another phenomenal PAC member. He is somebody that I have worked with, man, the entire time I've been in Renatus.
Yeah.
Over 13 years, coming up on 14 years now. I will never forget the first time that I met him, and he loves to rub this in all the time because we were setting up for a live recording, and he showed up in sweatpants and a t-shirt, and I was like, this guy's a PAC member? And, it's really funny. He has been an example to me that true success, it comes from within. It doesn't come from without. All of the symptoms of success are the cars, the houses, the everything else, right? But true success comes from within, and he's been an example of that to me ever since I've started to get to know him. He is an incredibly hard worker. He is a servant leader. He is somebody who commits his time, energy, and talents to building up the people around him, and he spoils the home team rotten with donuts and all sorts of other food.
So terrible.
So terrible.
Yep.
So join me in welcoming out to our call, Mr. Richard Stock.
Hey, Richard.
How's it going, guys?
Hey, can't hear you.
You know what, Jay? I have to. Oh, you can't hear me.
We should start.
How can you not hear me? You can hear me now?
Yeah,
Nope.
we can hear you now.
Do you know what, Jay, dude? I got to be honest with you. I'm getting a little external. It's kind of been a rough day.
What? Why has it been a rough day?
I told my wife she needed to embrace her mistakes. She came up and hugged me.
I was literally going to say, so she hugged you?
Yes, she did.
That's a good dad joke. That's funny. I like that.
That's not a dad joke. That's a husband joke.
There's
a difference.
that is a husband joke right
yes,
there.
Yes.
That is a husband who has children joke right there.
Oh, man.
No, I'm doing great, guys. Glad to be back. The Black Shirt Bandits are back again, man. Let's do it.
That's right. All in black.
Bring it. Back in black, baby.
It's amazing. I I did not think of you guys at all when I put a shirt on this morning.
Yeah, we sent out the memo, Matt. Don't
Hey.
mislead people and make them think that this is completely happenstance.
Misleading. We
that
planned
we
it,
all
we
wore
orchestrated it, and there was a phone call,
Well,
a text
let's
thread.
be honest. Let's be honest. 2 hours ago, I was at corporate wearing a pink shirt. You asked me to come on. I said I'll go change. So
It's true.
we coordinated it 2
This
hours
is true. Well, Richard coordinated, but I just
Matt
put a shirt
and I
on
were
this
just-
morning. So
Yeah, I just grabbed my shirt. And
yeah,
off to the races.
Yep.
So, Richard, you have been with Bob, with Renatus from the very beginning. You were part of the original Fab, and now you are part of the Pack. Tell me, over the last 13 years, how has your mindset evolved, your frame widened in your life?
Oh, man. I mean, mindset's it. Mindset is absolutely everything. You know, when I look back 14 years ago, I was in a horrible spot, not only financially, mentally, emotionally, physically, like all of those different things. And when I first started, my mindset was, I just got to do this to close a sale to pay my bills. Like that was my mindset, right? Is I just need to do this to make money. And then, started making money, started closing sales. And then there was a time where two things really hit. Number one is if you just do it for the money, you're doing it for the wrong reasons.
oh yeah,
Right? Is
totally.
you can either love the money and use the people, or you can love the people and use the money. And that's where one mind shift started taking place is stop loving the money to pay the bills, start loving the people. And the more we love the people, the easier it is to end up paying your bills. And so that's where number one, where my mindset started changing. Number two, where it started changing was this. I realized that money was just black and green ink on a piece of paper. Money doesn't make you a better person. It doesn't make you a worse person. Money just makes you more of who you are. And so that's kind of, as I look back 14 years ago, I'd say those are two of the biggest things. Is if you want to be able to have more money in your bank account, you love more people. Plain and simple, that's what it is. People can tell if you're using them as a paycheck, or people can tell if you truly love them and want them to succeed and have the success that they need to be able to have. And so those are two big things. And as I look back, mindset is it went from a very scarcity mindset to there's an abundance of wealth. There's an abundance of money if we're willing to put ourselves out there. The difference between those who make $7 an hour, $10 an hour versus those who make millions of dollars an hour, it's what they choose to do with their time and how they decide to leverage it. And when I realized that, I'm like, man, this world's a playground. Let's go have fun. Let's meet more people. Let's love on more people and go out and make a difference. So that's where my mindset literally changed, was doing from having to wanting to serve people. More people we serve, more money goes in the bank account.
So what advice would you give somebody who is currently maybe in that first mindset? That mindset of, man, I need to make money to pay the bills. How would you talk to them? What would you recommend that they do now to not have to maybe enjoy the same learning curve that you did?
I think it goes back to what I think Woody's the one that said it, is maybe it's another personal development, is they said you have 100% success rate in overcoming obstacles, right? And I think that was Woody. I'm not sure who said that, but that number one is absolutely true. And then realize is, yes, you can overcome it, but there's also this aspect is the consistency is there. And this is why I'm huge on personal development. When I read the story of Nike, right? How many times Nike about went up, bankruptcy, out of bankruptcy, bankruptcy, out of bankruptcy. When I look at L'Oreal, right, with Jamie Lynn Kerna, how many times she about lost everything until she became the first woman, female CEO that sold a company and took it public and made over $1 billion. When you look at all these different people with personal development, realizing everybody who has done something significant has just overcome obstacles.
Yeah.
And so if we're struggling right now, personal development is the key, realizing I'm not the only one. If Elon Musk, how many times did he about lose everything, right? Phil Knight with Nike, how many times about did he lose everything? Steve Jobs. And it's like you look at everybody who's about lost something, they've all gone through it.
Oh, yeah.
And if making money was easy, everybody would do it, but it's hard. So I would say spend 30 minutes a day. 15, 30 minutes a day in personal development would be number one if you're going through a hard time. Realizing other people have gone through it too. Reinforce that. Number two, it's playing. 15-minute. Those balloons, dude. What do you do with my...
I think it's when you hold your hand up. I know. I think it's...
I don't know what it is.
I think it's something to do with the hand thing.
Maybe a bunch of hot air coming out of here. Who knows? But it's got to play. No, didn't do it. Hang it. But got to play for 15 minutes a day minimum. Yeah. Right. You got to be happy going out and playing, because if this isn't right and we aren't happy, who wants to be around us?
Yep.
Nobody.
And so and if we aren't happy and we're miserable and we're grumpy, no one wants to do business with us. But if we reinforce this every day, we play. And then here's number three, which has been a huge one for me. Number three is the importance of visualization. The importance of visualization and seeing what is possible. I mean, I know Woody's gone through it with it. You read a bunch of personal development where the Olympic runners, right? They have them close their eyes. They have their bodies all hooked up to the probes, right? They visualize themselves running the race. All their muscles are twitching in their body, right? Just as if they were running the race. And what ends up happening when we visualize, we start tricking our subconscious mind to believe what it is that we should be doing, the life that we should be living. And what visualization for me has done is if it's done correctly for me, this is just me, it should motivate you to get your butt going. Some of those dreams might be 5 years, 10 years from now that are out there. But you should see them clearly enough. It should motivate you to get up and do it. When I look, some of the people I look at, Ed Milet, he visualized a better future. Andy Frashilla, it took him 10 years to make $1 million. Year 10 to 11, he went from $1 million to 10 million. Year 11 to 12, 10 million to 100 million, right? And he talks about the importance of visualizing your life every single day on where it is. Start tricking the subconscious mind to believing it's true. But what ends up happening, most people are like, that's too hard, it's too difficult. But if we visualize our success and our life correct, it should motivate your butt to get to work every single day. Personal development, play, visualization. Those are the three things. If we're going through a hard time, visualize what's that like. Not if I have money to pay my bills, I can't wait to have money to pay my bills. Stop pushing the money away. Attract the money. I can't wait to be able to pay my bills. When I pay my bills, I get to do this. When I pay my bills, I get to do this. Start having that positive talk, positive reinforcement every single day to go out and make a difference, because the intention that we put up here, that negativity brings us down, creates anxiety. Positivity in, boom, we got positivity. Now we're off and running. And shameless little plug, if we're having a hard time going internal, get in, drive AI, freaking go internal every single morning before you get up and do anything.
So how much for those individuals that are potentially in that spot, just here to pay their bills every month. You gave three principles here of what you would recommend they get engaged with right now to help them to create that abundance in their life. But how much does it cost, in your experience, to get involved with personal development?
I mean, you can do it for free. If you have internet, if you have internet, you can go on and watch it on YouTube. For me, I spend $15 a month on Audible, and I listen to podcasts. I mean, you look at, here's a great one a lot of people don't listen to, Ben Newman. Ben Newman's awesome podcast. He does one or two. He was the mental performance coach for Alabama when they were winning national championship after national championship. Then I think he went to North Dakota State. Now he works with like the top 50 companies in America. It's actually funny. I'm looking right now. John Gordon. I have his books like stacked, under my computer. John Gordon has great books that are out there. You can literally do it on Audible. $15 a month. It will change your life.
Okay.
Or less. Or free.
So next, the second thing you recommended was play. How much does play cost a day?
Nothing.
Okay. The third one you mentioned was visualizing. How much does visualizing cost a day?
Nothing.
So you gave 3 free to very inexpensive principles that people can apply in their life today to help start creating that abundant mindset.
Yes.
Free, and free. Personal development, play, and visualize. I'm just trying to point out for everybody who's listening that there are opportunities that you can start investing in today that literally take your time. That's it. But for whatever reason, there's so many of us that don't do it, right? That we don't spend time every day engaged in personal development. We don't spend time every day playing or visualizing. And this is what's really ridiculous. Have you guys heard of the study about the foul shots, basketball foul shots?
No.
So, and I apologize. I really don't love when somebody references a study that they can't directly point to. So I will find it, and then I will post it in the comments later for this podcast.
Okay.
But the study was that there were 3 groups that were all told to do foul shots. And then over the course of the next month, they had 3 potential or 3 assignments that they were given. The first group was given no assignment at all. The second group was given the assignment to practice foul shots for an hour a day. Then the third group was given the assignment of visualizing them practicing foul shots for an hour a day. The first group, obviously, no real improvement. The second group, 34% improvement in their foul shot average, right? The third group, 33% improvement. So the first group that was given no assignment at all, that it didn't change. The second group that was told to practice every single day increased by 34%, but the third group that was told to visualize every day, they improved by almost the same amount, 33%.
I think what you're talking about is the study conducted by Dr. Blaslato at the University of Chicago in 1996.
There it is.
Yep.
But it just... Go ahead, Richard.
Go ahead, Jay. No, go ahead.
It just really highlights the idea that visualizing is a powerful and a very practical tool that so many people underutilize.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's incredible when you start to visualize the win or the shot. Or I did not know about this study, but I've done it where I've just visualized something. Even in basketball, funny enough, because I've never heard this, but back when I was playing church ball, I would visualize the shot going in, because that's, it's the coach would say that, or other players too. And anyways, it worked for me, but I didn't know that. That's pretty cool. That's really neat.
Richard,
that kind of stuff.
What were you going to say?
I was just going to say I think the difference is it's going through the motions versus doing it with intention. When they did that study, they just were like, oh, shoot. That's
a good point.
They were bouncing the ball, whatever they do with their hands, follow through, right? Making sure everything's right. They did it with intention. intention. So if we are doing personal development with the intent of becoming better, changing our mindset. Yeah. If we are playing to be happy instead of just saying, well, they told me to just go do this, that's not going to do a dang thing.
Yeah.
It becomes visualization. I'm told I got to do this, so I got to do it. There's nothing there. We do it with intention. That's where everything changes.
Yeah. Yep, I agree. You know, for a long time in recent history, a lot of people have talked about being present, right? Oh, you need to be present. You need to be present. Mm-hmm. And I've taken that one step further in my own mind, and I think, no, I don't need to just be present. I need to be on purpose. I need to really be intentional with my time everywhere I go, because everywhere I go, there's room for improvement. There's something I can do 1% better, and I can increase every single day. And that 1% across my life will add up to massive improvement. But visualization, that's one opportunity where I think, man, so many people, they invest their time. I don't want to say waste their time, but they invest their time in things that are not deliberately designed to help them improve.
Right.
Whether it's watching a show or a movie, whether it's just listening to random music or whatever it is, the death scroll on Instagram, whatever, right? Mm-hmm. They're not investing their time. They're not being intentional on purpose with their time. They're just biding their time. Is kind of the way it feels to me.
Yeah, what a great example. Because there's been times where watching a show, just relaxing, has been very beneficial for me. But I was intentional about it. Like it was because I love personal development. I listen to a lot of it. Sometimes I get burned out because I'll go hours a day every day for months.
Yeah.
Of listening to it, and so then I'm intentionally like, all right, I'm intentionally just gonna sit down, relax, watch a show, and it actually is regenerative and relaxing.
Right. Then it's serving a purpose.
It serves a purpose, but there's been times, of course, we all do it where you just binge watch a season of something, COVID lockdown, and I'm sure we all did it. I think I went through Tiger King in like one sitting. But yeah, it totally changes. It changes, you're just like biding your time, waiting for this lockdown to be over, or whatever, and you're just killing time, and it feels so different.
It does.
Yeah.
It really does.
Intentionality. It's everything.
So Richard, walk us through a little bit what visualization for you looks like, because I really do feel like that is such a powerful and yet underutilized tool.
So this is kind of what I do every single day. Wake up early. Got to get the pup out, right? So I have a lot of people look at me funny.
The pup being your dog, right?
Yeah, my pup being my little dog, right?
Okay.
My little Flash. We wake up every morning, we go out. And what I do when I start, and this is a tweak I've started doing, and it's made a significant difference. I used to just think about it, right? But then there is kind of the I am statement. So when I start my visualization every morning, first thing that I end up seeing is waking up and looking out on the deck on my backyard. I see the pool, I see the garden, I see the trees, I see the pathway, right? And I see what that future looks like. Then I go to what my cabin will look like, right? So I see that, and this goes back right to my drive. That's the lifestyle. That's what I want to experience. And I see myself there with, Amy and the boys. I see it there with those that mean the most to me, right? Family, friends. So I see that, and then it goes from there, and I start saying it out loud. Here is what I will do. I will be top income earner in Renatus. I will be top income earner in Sladio. I will, whatever it is you guys are going to say. I will talk to these people every day. I will have someone coming to the events. I see myself in front of the room doing the presentation on purpose, changing lives, going and speaking at other people's events to introduce them, to Drive and Soladio. And then so I start working it back. This is what I want to have. Here are the steps I'm going to do. And I literally start saying that out loud. I will make this. I will do this. I am. So it's the I am, I will. So I take it 10 years out, bring it back to what I have to do every single day, which then motivates me, which then means by 9 o'clock every day, I've sent a text out, right? I've already kind of made that first phone call of the day. It's the hardest one to make, right? So by 9 o'clock, get that first text sent out every single day while I'm out there. So I start 10 years and I start working back on this is what it's going to take to get there. And so I do it. It's minimum. I started off 10 minutes and now I'm out. I'm saying all this stuff out loud. People are kind of like looking at me like I'm talking to myself, right? I'm like, it's okay. I'm bipolar. I'm just talking to my other friend next to me, right? As we're walking along there.
That's not
talking
what
to
bipolar
myself.
Means.
Yeah.
Like
schizophrenic.
Well,
but yeah.
I'm talking to my other personality, right? I'm self-employed. I'm talking to my coworker. We're having this conversation going back and forth, right? But it's what I have to do to put myself in that space. And so I'm having a conversation and like literally I can see the flowers. I can see the trees. I can see the pathway. I can see all of that on what my future will be. And then taking it back to this is what I have to do now, which to me, that's the purpose of visualization. It's to kick your butt into action and go do this today. Yeah. So it gets me on purpose first thing in the morning to have intention to go do that. And so that's how I break it down is 10 years out. So this is what I have to do today. Because I know if I hit this stuff today, I know if I hit the numbers, if I do what I need to do, I know that other stuff's going to happen. Instead of saying, I hope for a nice house, I hope for a nice car. After a week of doing that doesn't do any good. How are we going to get there on purpose? Visualizing, standing in front of the audiences, visualizing what it's going to be like, visualizing when I'm done, the standing ovation, right? Visualizing all of those different things because I love the people and I want to serve them, which then by doing that with Drive allows me to win, have the financial security, meet my goals, the things I want to be able to do.
That resonates with me so well because it really goes back to that, you are intentionally designing and controlling your life. You are not living your life by default. You are not allowing someone else to dictate what your value is, how much you're worth, or anything else. And instead you're saying, here are my daily disciplines that I will get engaged with. Mm-hmm. I will make the first phone call by this time. I will send the first message by this time. I will work from this time to this time intentionally in this space. And I think that is so phenomenal. And so many people, there's the old adage, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. Yep. And what you're doing right now is you are engaged actively in the prevention. You're not waiting for everything to go sideways before you try to solve the problem. You are actively creating solutions to problems that don't even exist, and thereby are going to have things in place well in advance of any problem.
Yeah. And that's what you have to do. That's like... And this is where, like, guys, for me, that's why I love, like, personal development has to be there. Personal development has to be a part of life. If we're going through our own crap, which all of us are, every single person out there is going through some type of crap, right? But it comes down the same principles. You look at the wealthy of the wealthy, right? As I look at people I respect and admire and the things that they do, it's the same basic, simple principles. It's personal development, right? It's our IPAs, our weekly DMOs, our weekly standards. What are we going to be doing? When we understand those two and we play and we smile and we love other people, like all of those things, the wealthy do the same things. Every single wealthy person has that same list that they do every single week. And that's the best part is it's not hard. Are we going to be consistent? Are we going to be diligent in the things that we do? And I had these down. So if you want me to go through them, here's what the wealthy do. Okay. Number one is they keep personal commitments. The wealthy keep their personal commitments. If they commit to doing something, they do it. How many times have we gone out there and we've asked somebody to do something and then they don't follow through? How frustrating is that? Right? Next time you ask them, they don't do it again, you have less and less confidence. Well, if I commit to doing something and then I don't show up, my confidence is lowered. If I commit to doing something and I do it, do we all have more confidence? Yeah, so that's and we could do a whole different podcast on like the confidence table and how the confidence table works. That's number one. Keep personal commitments. And if you keep the personal commitments, it's going to give you more confidence. Number two, every single person, they use different words, but I'll take it to terminology a lot of our people do. Number two is going internal. Ooh, there's the balloons again, right? They love celebrating with me. It's internal. Okay. Number three, they have their weekly standards, their DMOs, their weekly standards. They visualize. They do personal development. They play. And the last one, they smile. People who are successful, they smile. If you aren't smiling, you'll never be successful.
So you use two different acronyms. You said DMO and IPA, I think.
Income producing activities.
Okay.
Or daily method of operations. Right? We have, Rob Sperry talks about our weekly minimums, our standards, our dream numbers. All of those is basically saying, this is what I'm going to do every single week, no matter what. Because if we do that and we keep our commitments, we're going to have more confidence.
Yeah.
If we're talking to minimum X amount of people every single week, we're going to have more confidence. I'll just give you a quick example. Today, I did the I Dare You challenge, right? So I send a text message out to a bunch of our people. I'm like, I dare you to talk to one person today you have not talked to and invite them to take the assessment. Literally, as we were just got a text message from somebody. He has got out 5 assessments, and I sent this text message out at 12:54 Mountain Time.
So that's 3.5 hours ago.
3.5 hours. Guy sent out 5 assessments today. Invited 5 people taking assessments because they just said, I dare you to do this. Dare to do something hard every day. And how different would things be if we did that?
Yeah.
Right? John Gordon talks about you win in the locker room first. Everybody, I hope I'm okay saying this. We always have these conversations, right? Everybody wants Bob to come up with something magical to fix the company.
Yep.
Bob's the coach. It's the players who win. If we aren't doing our part, doesn't matter what the coaches say. We have to do our part to win as a group. And if it's selfish, well, look what I did. Who cares what you did? Right? That's selfish. If we look and say, what can we all do to win? What can we do to make a difference? They love the people, give them the assessment. Love the people, talk to them about Renatus. Love the people to do these different things. Guess what? We got one heck of a coach. We just got to play better, right? So that's where the whole I Dare You challenge comes in. So I talked to a couple of my people. I'm like, what did you think when I sent this? They're like, dude, it was awesome. Well, you do it every day. So I got key people. We're going to send out a different I Dare You every single day to help people meet their DMOs, their weekly success numbers, their IPAs, whatever you guys want to call them, to make sure we get uncomfortable every single day, just talking to one random person each day. Get uncomfortable, go out, have success. That's what the wealthy do. Those are the 7 things the wealthy do.
That's amazing. I watched a video today that was I'm not sure if it was David Goggins or someone else, but he said, you can be great or you can be comfortable. You can't be both. to be great, you have to deliberately make yourself uncomfortable.
Yeah.
That's when you are able to accomplish phenomenal things.
Yep.
But you can't be both. So I love how you just said that. And I got to be honest, we could talk forever on this. This subject just resonates with me, man. I love it. So I got 6, but you said 7 things. What was the 7th thing? I got keep personal commitments, go internal, have your weekly standards, visualize, personal development, and play. What was number 7?
Smile. Yeah. We gotta smile like the world, and I got whole stories on all of that. But I mean, so going back to reading this book I was reading this morning, Be Seen by Jen Gottlieb. And it was her whole I dare you, and that's where it came back up. And she was there with her boyfriend. I think they were in San Francisco, Ferris wheel or something behind them. And she's like, this would be the most beautiful picture to take. But she hated, like, she would pay people, hundreds of dollars, thousands of dollars, take photography, pictures of her, but she never took pictures with other people. And so it was crazy. She was like, I want to take a picture. And they couldn't get their hand out far enough to take the picture, right? And so she's like, screw it. I'm not doing that. And her boyfriend said, I dare you to invite someone to take a picture of it. She's like, crap, my boyfriend just used this on me, right? Went up, talked to this random person, said, hey, will you take a couple pictures? She said 10 minutes went by. So this lady taking pictures, zooming in, zooming out, all these different angles. And when she's done, she's like, thank you. I used to take pictures I think it was for Disneyland or Disney World, for Disney. And I haven't done it for years. She said, you guys just made not only my day, not my week, you just made my month, allowing me to do something I love.
Wow.
So that's where I said, now I'm like, hey, we're going to do this. I dare you, but it also brings this up. You never know who that one person is you're going to talk to that day. Let's take that to business. That one person could be in a bad spot, like, man, just got fired from their job, looking for hope, and us just going up and talking to that one person because we dare ourselves to get uncomfortable could completely change our business.
Yeah.
And change somebody else's life.
Yep.
Yeah. Man, I'm going to be pondering on these 7 points that you made. I love it. And I'm going to be looking up Ben Newman and John Gordon and seeing what other information I can find on them, because I so agree with everything that you have said. These are easy, simple to do principles, to do actions, and yet they are things that people will regularly either ignore or put to the side and not be intentional about.
Yeah.
And they're free.
That's
you can do it and it doesn't cost you a dang penny.
Yep.
And yet that's what creates real wealth. That's so funny. It's just ironic. It's just, that the key to real wealth is by investing in these free to you tools.
Well, it's taking those consistent actions across years of time.
Right.
That takes a lot of discipline.
Right.
Which is hard.
It is hard.
So,
and yet over time, the results are phenomenal.
Oh yeah.
Because you look at like the smallest river can cut through the biggest rock given enough time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's the same thing with personal and our bank account.
Yeah.
The same thing with our bank account. Consistency is what that river does.
Yep. Man, this has been a phenomenal opportunity to talk. I really do appreciate you, Richard. I mean, I love you, but this information is critical and timely. I feel like this is going to be a massive blessing to the Renatus community as a whole, and I really appreciate you taking the time with us today.
Absolutely, man. Glad we could. Hey, can we take a quick poll?
Sure.
Does Jay Stark, at this look right there, does he look like Jason Kelsey, just voted sexiest man alive? I mean, I sent it to Whitney. Whitney's like, yep, he does. We got one of the sexiest men alive in the whole world right here in Renatus with us. also as our president. And I love it, man. I can't wait to go see the monkeys with you guys in Costa Rica.
Costa Rica? You mean Punta Cana?
Not Costa Rica, Dominican Republic, Punta Cana, right? Can't wait to do. I think in Costa Rica, we had a heck of a time there too.
Costa Rica was fun.
Cana with you guys, it's going to be awesome. And I love you guys. I love Bob. I love everything you guys do. Our corporate staff, you guys are awesome. You guys rock.
Well, Richard, thank you so much. Thank you for being our featured guest today. Thank you for sharing, giving us such great takeaways, great information, and great recommendations that each one of us can start applying today. Thank you. That for me is the definition of brilliance. You are brilliant, my friend. I want to remind everybody else that's on the line with us, the reason why Renatus rocks is because of the people who are associated with us, like Richard, like Matthew, like you. Thanks for being with us. Renatus rocks.